Hi everybody. Well, I have something in front of you that should look familiar. Yes, it's the unit circle and the reference chart. So we're going to go back and we're going to review that today. And then we're going to do a little bit going back to the graphs. And the example I'm going to do on the graph is your number 5 from your homework today. So if you haven't done your homework, or if you've done your homework, I'm going to do number 5 so you can check to see if you did it correctly. Anyway, we're going to go back and we're going to review the unit circle and how to fill it out. I'm going to start though by telling you I'm only doing part of the unit circle, because one of your assignment for tomorrow is filling out the whole unit circle, so I don't want to do the whole thing because you need to know how to do this already. But I am going to start with the degrees first because I think the degrees is the easiest. So the part I'm going to do with you is going to start here and let you remember that this is 0 degrees. And if I go all the way around the unit circle, it goes back to 360 degrees. And then if I start breaking it down, counting by 30s first, this would be 30 degrees. I'm going to skip this one, and I did these in brown. This would be 60 degrees, and all the way up to the top would be 90 degrees. Okay, this is quadrant 1. And then the green right here is cutting it into quarters, so this would be 45 degrees. So this is quadrant 1, and in quadrant 1 all your signs are positive because all seniors turn crazy. Right now they're crazy happy because they're almost done. If I skip over here to quadrant 3, if you recall, everything off of the x-axis is a reference angle. So by the way, let's go ahead and make this 180 degrees right here, because we know that half a circle is 180. So if I go 30 degrees off of my x-axis, just add 30 to 180. So this would be 180 plus 30 is 210. And then if I keep going, adding another 30 here, this would be 240. I'm skipping the green line because that's my 45 degree I'm going to add in a minute. And then add another 30 down here, this would be 270 degrees. So this is quadrant 3 right now I'm doing. And then my green, of course, is taking 180 plus 45. So this would be 215 degrees. Okay, so that's quadrant 3 with your degrees. Of course, you're going to have to do 2 and you're going to have to do 4. Okay, so this was quadrant 3 that I did with you. Now let's talk about doing this in radians now. So in radians, this would be 0 pi right here. And then, remember, if I break this down in the 30 degrees, it's 162636, and then you keep going, 465666 would give you pi. So over here, this would be 66 or pi. 162636 all the way to 66 gives you pi. So 0.6, this would be 1/6 or pi over 6. This here would be 2/6, which reduces to pi over 3. And this would be 3/6, which reduces to pi over 2. Okay, so that is quadrant 1. That's your radians part. And then when I do my 45 degrees, if you recall, this was 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, which is, again, pi. So if this is 1/4, this would be pi, pi over 4. That's the funkiest looking pi I've made yet. Pi over 4. So then let's go down to 3, quadrant 3. Let's do our 30 degrees. Remember, this is 6/6. So here, this would be 7/6, 8/6, 9/6. Okay, so 7/6 right here. So this would be 7, see if I can get my pen right, 7/6 pi. This would be 8/6 pi. These are in brown. So 8/6 pi divided by 2 to reduce it would simplify to 4/3 pi. This would be 9/6 pi right here, divided by 3, which gives me 3/2 pi. So there's quadrant 3. Now let's do the 45 degree. So if I do the 45 degree, remember I started here, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4 pi. So this in the green is 5/4 pi. So that's how we did our radians when we were learning radians. 5/4 pi. So that's how we did the radians. You may want to go back and watch the video. It's still there if you forgot how to do radians. Just look for the title. Now we got the ordered pairs. Well, let's do the simple ordered pairs first. Well, this ordered pair is a unit circle. So if I go right 1, this is 1, 0. If I go up 1, this is 0, 1. If I go left 1, this is -1, 0. And if I go down 1, this is 0, -1. Okay, so that part's easy. Now what about these parts? Okay, that's a little more difficult. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to my chart over here. I love this chart that I taught you before. So the trick was, and this is the only hard part I think. So if you remember, you start out by going, and I'm going to try to write small, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you divide everything by 2. Everything by 2 is how you make the chart. And then you square root the numerators. And then you simplify. So the square root of 0/2 is 0. Square root of 1 is 1, so this becomes 1/2. Square root of 2/2 stays, so I'm going to write it a little bit bigger. Square root of 2/2. Square root of 3/2 stays. And the square root of 4 is 2, so 2 divided by 2 equals 1. So that's your sign. That's your reference chart for your to find our ordered pairs. And then for cosine, I just take these and I write them backwards. So this is 0, this is 1/2, this is radical 2/2, this is square root of 3/2, and then this is 1. Then when I want to get tangent, it's sine divided by cosine. 0 divided by 1 is 0. This is the funky one where you have to do division, so I'm just going to tell you the answer. So I'll take too much time. Square root of 2/2 divided by square root of 2/2 is 1. This one is radical 3, and this answer was undefined. Okay, so then when I go over here and I go, all right, so let's do this. Well, what's 30 degrees? What's my ordered pair? Recall, it goes cosine sine. So when I go here, all right, well, the sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. Let me use a different color so we can see. The sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. The cosine of 30 degrees is radical 3/2. And then let me show you a really quick trick. All I have to do here for 60 degrees is just reverse the order of the ordered pair. There, done. Okay, and then for square root of 45 degrees, or pi over 4, it's always square root of 2/2, square root of 2/2. And all my signs are positive because A stands for all signs are positive. All right, so now we got to do quadrant 3. Well, the reference angle off of the 180 degrees, the reference angle right here is 30 degrees. So it's the same answer as this 30 degrees. Same exact answer. Square root of 3/2, 1/2. That means this one over here, my 60-degree angle, I'm just going to reverse the order. Square root of 3/2. And then, of course, my green 45 degree is radical 2/2. Now, what's the big difference? It can't be exactly the same, and it's not. Because, remember, this is cosine, and this is sine, and in quadrant 3, all seniors turn. The T stands for tangent. Only tangent is positive in quadrant 3. So I know both my ordered pairs here are negative. And there, that's you're done with the unit circle. And then you guys are going to fill out all of the unit circle, including 2 and 3. So let me go down here real quick. Let me do number 5 with you, because you need this for the next lesson, the next night. So here we go with, this is number 5. So you were to find the amplitude. Amplitude is the distance from the midpoint. So my amplitude is always the absolute value is 2. My period, or your cycle, or your full circle, is to take 2 pi divided by 4. So my period is going to be a half pi, because I simplify this. Now, to find out what I break my units down here, you're going to take pi over 2 and divide it by 4, or, multiply by 1/4. So I get pi over 8. So, what are my units going to be then? They're going to be 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. And guys, that makes a complete cycle, because you're going to start at 0, depending on its sine or cosine, to maximum or min. Okay, so if I look here, it's going to be sine. Now I know the graphs are really tiny, so I'm going to show you something. When you have graphs that are tiny, you don't have to count 1 every tick mark as a sign. So I'm going to count by 2's on this one. So I'm going to say, I'm going to put my tick marks right here. Okay, I'm just going to go to there. So I would say here's 0, here's pi over 8, here's 2/8 reduces to 1/4, so pi over 4, 3/8 doesn't reduce, so 3 pi over 8, and then 4/8 reduces to pi over 2. That will complete a cycle. Now, it's sine, but look, it's negative. So my pattern is going to be 0 min, 0 max, 0. So when you graph, be careful. So I like to go to the left. So I'm going to go to the left, negative pi over 8. Now you don't have to do this. Your cycle is complete to there. That's your cycle. That's all you have to show me on your homework. If you went a little bit further, yippee skippy. If you didn't, that's fine. This is all I need to see right here. Okay, right there. Now, I need to do my amplitude. So, and let's say, okay, you counted by 2's here. You don't have to do that going up and down. You can do a different interval. So I'm not going to count by 2's here. I'm going to go, that's 1, 2, and that's 1, 2. That's good enough for me. So now let's graph this baby. We got like 1 minute left. I'm going to make it. Okay, so because it's negative, and I'm going to start at 0. Remember, here's my pattern. 0, and then I go down to min, and then 0, and then I go up to max, and then go to 0. Now I want to graph this one because I like to go a little bit the other direction, so I'm going to look here at 0, and I would be at max if I go backwards a little bit. So I'm going to go like this. Let's see if I can actually hit my dots this time. And okay, and then I just kind of tail off a little bit there. Just so you know, on the key, I highlighted the part that you have to show me, because I would go further, a little bit right and left further. So I put a highlighter when I post the key tomorrow on just the parts that you for sure have to have the same thing I have. Okay, that's it. Have a good evening. Come meet me on Meet if you have questions. Too many of you are still not meeting me on Meet. All right, peace out.